go.
Sweet.
Let me see. Good to hear. Let's hope your execution matches your enthusiasm. I've got a job for you if you're looking to keep busy. Here are the details.
Greetings, and welcome back to Soul Voices. I am GriffinGamingRPG, and we are excited to be back. And I am excited to have another one of the Soul team members here with me today for his first time. Kalrati, what's up?
Hey, Griff. Hey, Soul Citizens community, all the watchers. It's great to be here. Great to be part of the Soul Voices. Happy to share my opinions, information, and all who think that I shouldn't share it, or they could do something I don't care.
Well, I know you always have some good stuff to share with us, so that's good. Let's get some shout outs to who's here. We got people here right in the middle of a Saturday. We've got Pops in Space. We've got Fast Cart. We've got Dark Knight. Dark Knight Get Well. We've got Errol Mack. Good to see Errol here as well. And Shimpasta. Shimpasta's out there. What's up? Thank you guys for joining us today. You know, we missed out last week. Last weekend was Mother's Day weekend, and we kind of took a break. It was going to be a busy weekend, as much as I hated to take a break, but I could not be two places at once. And yeah, Fast Cart was out of town enjoying Mother's Day with his family. So
mamas are important.
Yeah, but we're back this week, you know, so you guys get shouts out. Let people know about Soul Voices. If you guys like what you see, make sure you give us the thumbs up. If you enjoy the show, do it now, because you're going to enjoy the show. We don't have to take a guess, right, Kalrati? It's going to be
exactly. They're going to love it.
Yeah, but send the link out to some people. Let them know to come check us out. Sean Appel. Welcome 07 to you. Thank you for coming. BBG, good to see you as always. Thank you for being here. Man, you know, it's been a busy week, a lot going on. Folks are excited because 3.17.1 released last night. We knew it was coming because they got a week to get it together right before Invictus, right?
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
What are you digging so far with the new patch?
Ooh, first I got to jump on that dynamic event, man. That was quite the surprise to everybody, and of course the Scorpius, but also we got some, hidden, some improvements there to the, how you purchase things from the kiosk.
Yeah.
You can directly send them to whatever
Dude,
inventory.
That
Oh,
was so
man.
cool. I didn't know
Mwah.
about that until you mentioned it, and I was like, wow. So if for those of you who don't know, in 3.17, they put in the new kiosk with the building blocks, looks really nice, but there was all you could do is say category and then subcategory. Well, now they've added a third one called destination. And what's cool about it is like, let's say like last night I was at Port Olisar. I went and bought like 20 of 10 different things and didn't know that this new thing called destination was there. So you could say destination,
Exactly.
and destination can either be the local inventory at your location or whatever ship you have at that location.
Mm-hmm.
So I could have loaded all that stuff into my ship. Now I got to walk out to my ship and transfer all that stuff over now, which I may not do. I may just rebuy everything, but it's really cool. So don't forget about that feature. It definitely makes life a lot easier. So if you want to buy armor at one location or weapons, now you can load that stuff directly into your ship. I love that.
And into your outfit too.
Yeah, your outfit too. Yeah, it's really, really cool. So just
Yeah.
telling you guys now, enjoy it. It's good stuff. I haven't had a chance to look at the patch notes. All I did last night was just jump in. I went to Orison, I got into Scorpius with the intention of just looking at it.
Right.
And then
right.
somebody said, "Oh, it was Rob, I think he said, oh, did you see the component area?" I said, "Oh yeah, I forgot they got the components." I didn't know that they had put the whole thing in. So it's almost like gold standard.
Pretty
all
much,
the
yeah.
physicalized components in the back. You've got all these, the shields, the warp drive, everything. They even
external
have
storage.
Did you notice they put in the life support? There's a generic component in there. There is a life support door with a generic component in there. Normally it's empty. So evidently they're moving toward the whole life support thing.
Oh man, that's exciting.
Cool.
That is exciting.
So there's a lot of good stuff. So if you guys haven't had a chance to check it out, do the Scorpius. So far it seems like the general response, Kalrati, is people are digging it, right? So far?
Yeah, people are digging it. There are some reports that, it's true that the Scorpius does feel a little lighter than it should compared to some other ships of its own class. I actually took it out in Arena Commander yesterday. And while it felt good, in some cases it felt a little too good. So, especially with the kind of firepower it has, because that thing packs a punch. It comes by default. At least the pilot can use 4 gimbal size 2 weapons, but if you can slap 4 size 3 fixed, that thing just shreds everything. So they have to make sure that the drawbacks to it definitely balances with the advantages that it has over everything else.
I was impressed when I saw it. I saw they categorized it as a heavy fighter, and so it's small. At least to me, it seems like it's smaller than a Vanguard, but bigger than a Hornet and a Sabre. So it's in between there. This is what I will say. I left from Orison to Port O. Acceleration was great. That thing moved. It cut through the air. I'm talking about for a heavy fighter, it moved very quickly. Maneuverability was decent for the size of the ship. It's not the X-Wing that you see in Star Wars was spinning, but it's also not sluggish to me. And somebody told me this morning, I think it was DK or maybe it was Jade, said that some of the streamers were testing those wings because people were concerned about the vulnerability of the wings, and so far people are happy with it. They don't fly off like people were concerned about if they were being shot. So that may alleviate a lot of people's fears about whether or not the ship is on point. ZC's Tube says, "I saw Avenger 1's video on it. It was good and worth a watch." So thanks, ZC Tube. You guys check that video out as well. Cool stuff. So I haven't looked at the patch notes yet. I know, obviously, we know that they're working on the convention center, getting ready for next week.
Yes.
And so hopefully, CIG's got a week to get whatever weird stuff is out there. At least things that will deter new players. Old players can deal with it, but we don't want stuff in there that's going to freak out.
The new players, they gotta get a better experience than we did.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so listen, real quick, for those of you first time here, Soul Voices is our show where it's a community show, just like our Soul Talk show, except for this is a one-on-one show where you get to come in and talk with me and Kalrati one-on-one. If you've got comments about the subject matter that we're talking about, later on we will have an open segment, but we do want to have the conversation about whatever the topic is, and we pull our topics from our forums. We take them from Spectrum, we take them from Reddit, and we also sometimes take things from the industry. And so today we're going to take a couple of those questions, and then, as you guys know, our special guests today are the Player Haters. They'll be here later on. Kalrati and I will take a break and sit back and have a little drink and let the Player Haters have at it for the other half of the show. Hopefully you all will stick around for that as well. So yeah, let's jump in here. Well, this week, it's always interesting to see some of the things that people post, obviously.
Always.
And so let's start out with the very first question that we've got. And you guys know we kind of take these questions one by one, so just kind of hang in here with us. Let's change up here. I think my screen's supposed to change. No, my screen didn't change. Why didn't my screen change? Because I pushed the wrong button. That's why. Okay. So let me read to you the question. Audience, I'll read you the question and then we'll present it. All right. It says, recently, I went through a bit of an issue with a former. Oh, I'm reading the wrong one. You know what? That's from show number 1.
I was wondering.
Yeah, that was from show number 1. I'm on the wrong show. Okay. The title of this one is Hull A, More Like Trash A by Cethex.
What?
Yeah, by Cethex. Yeah, he says, I've enjoyed the Hull A for about 19 minutes with its slow speed, horrid handling, and poor performance. I can't believe others would opt to keep this. The friggin' ladder to get in and out was a terrible access system. Great when you want the door to be shut behind you, but you don't have any if you've got packages. You'll be hitting the button to extend the ladder. Well, it won't. Got to find that right spot. Sometimes it's inconsistent, just like the capabilities the ship brings. Inconsistency. I found out today that you cannot reclaim a pledge before the 24-hour mark. I am personally happy I tried this because now I can appreciate my Aurora from back in the day. Perhaps the Hull B, C, D, or E will do better, but based on the garbage I just flew, those will probably be worse. Okay, so yeah. By the way, if you guys look in our chat, you'll see there's a link that brings you into the green room, our queue, where you guys can come in and talk to us. If you've got questions or comments about the subjects we're talking about, you guys feel free to drop down in there and we'll bring you all in. Kalrati, why don't you tell me your thoughts about this? This guy says that the Hull A is trash A. No good, man. What do you think?
Man, he's lucky he's not on Player Haters. He's so lucky right now. You were close, man. You were close. But anyway, so every ship, everyone has their own favorite ship, or every different category of favorites. Mm-hmm. And it's totally fine. It's totally fine. He can dislike the ship all he wants. Personally, I've been loving my ship. I've been living out in the Hull A. I've been doing simple trade ones. Heck, I've been carrying it to bunkers and just hiding it behind the hills and going into those bunkers and shredding and doing all kinds of stuff with it. And in terms of the latter part, I'll give him that, but I think that's a temporary measure. So I think what he's talking about is when you exit the ship and when you're in the actual section, in the middle of the ship, and you want to exit the ship, you have to use the panel to open the door, and then you have to use the inner thought to open the ladder and the hatch. Now, what I think they're going to do, because as we're getting closer and closer to the interactivity behind the panels and those things, I think what they're going to do perhaps is they're going to merge the whole ladder, or the ability to open the ladder on the panel. That way, you don't necessarily need to, do two kinds of interactions to get out. Mm-hmm. Right. So what's probably going to happen is when we get life support and those things, when we press that panel, whichever button on that panel, what I'm assuming is going to happen is going to vent the atmosphere. If, for example, we're in vacuum, and it's going to trigger the panel to also open, thereby eliminating the inner thought. So right now, I assumed at first that he was probably a new player and having a bad experience. But given that he said Aurora back in the day, maybe there's a chance that he just doesn't like, the interactivity behind that segment. In terms of performance of the ship, I think it's it suits the ship in terms of it being a dedicated cargo hauler.
Right?
It's not
a being
it's
a semi.
not a freelancer.
Yeah, right. Being a semi. Yeah. Yeah.
So
doesn't turn on a dime, right? Okay.
And heck, I think I was interdicted by. It was some pirate ship, and I was able to take it out in my Hull A using, the 2 size 1s or something. I mean, it was very slow, but it reflected that kind of desire that when you're going to dangerous places with these kinds of ships, you can't be as independent as you want to be.
Yeah.
So maybe that could also be feeding into why he's not really liking the maneuverability of the ship.
Yeah, I'm kind of hesitant about, to your point, is he a new player? Or because at first I thought, well, maybe he's a new player. He doesn't know, right? And then he says the thing about not knowing about the 24-hour if you buy something. And I'm like, okay, if you've been around any amount of time, you know that when you buy something, you can't just melt it right away.
Exactly.
So then I said, okay, maybe he is a newbie. But then he says, like, back in the day, like you said. So I had difficulty trying to figure out where this person lands.
Maybe he's returning. Who knows?
Well, yeah, because if they don't know, you can't blame them, right? You can't know. I mean, I know people who don't know that you can just tap a key quickly and it'll default to whatever it is you want it to do. I'm sitting there watching them hold the button down and drag, or people who don't know if you double click an inventory, your stuff will fly on you. They're still dragging and frustrated. It's like, no, just double click, So I get that there may be those little weird nuances that people may not get. Let's bring Pops in, see what Pops has got to say, and then I'll get my 2 cents in on the deal. So, Pops, how are you, Pops? How are you?
All right.
Good.
Hey, Pops.
What do you got some thoughts here in relation to the hull A, more like trash A? Trash.
I mean, I got a lot to say, but I'm going to go to I think it's just a hit piece. I think it's just something somebody put in there to get a reaction out of everybody to see how many hits they could get, because that just doesn't make any sense. It's for what it's made for. It exceeded my expectations. The way it's built, it's designed, all of it. So I don't know where,
Pops,
this, other than it being a hit piece.
Let me ask you this, Pops. Do you think that maybe because the person saw a shiny new ship, they just assumed that it could perform a certain way? You know what I mean? Like, those of us who've been around know anything about the hulls. I don't think anybody expected the hulls to have some great performance in flight. I'm sorry. People are still talking about the boxes flying off. Who bought a hull thinking there's going to be some great level of performance?
Right.
Do you think that maybe the person just saw a shiny new thing and just it looked cool? They saw the mechanics opening up and said, wow, that would be a great ship to get. And then got in there and found out that the thing is a truck.
Pew. But it's not aerodynamic.
Yeah.
There's no,
but it looks cool.
There's no air in space, but
yeah.
I don't get it. Let me ask you a question in the article. Didn't he say something about getting the next hull up?
Well, no, what he said was he's glad how did he put it? I'm personally glad I'm happy I tried this because now I can appreciate the Aurora. Perhaps the whole B, C, D, or E will do better.
Right, okay.
But based on the garbage I just flew, they probably will be worse. Yeah.
Now, how fast does he expect the whole E to travel?
Or even turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
It's a good point, Pops. No, thanks for bringing it up, because maybe the person just was frustrated and decided they just go on a blast. They felt like they needed to vent. But like you said, the argument isn't. I don't know. For some of us, the argument isn't hitting the goalpost. But
thanks for letting me blast.
Hey, no problem. Thanks, Pops, as always, man. We appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
All right, let's bring Fist in. Fist is here. Fist to face. What's happening, brother?
Hey.
All right. My thing is this. I want to say it's simple. Silly rabbit. All A are not for kids.
Okay.
I mean, reading is fundamental. Research is fundamental, right? And I mean, I think that's where we as people, unfortunately, have devolved, from doing things. And it's kind of like our expectations gets the best of us. And instead of, let me go look at what something is. And like I said again, I'm not immune to it because I've done it myself, But that's the best thing you could do to stop having disappointment about something in your life, especially over a Hall A.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna be really disappointed, like Pops, and you guys said when he gets to a Hall B and C, D, on and up, So I mean, I'm not sure where is he going with that one, but
yeah. No, that's a good point, Fist. To be honest with you, this is the first criticism I've heard, severe criticism of the hull A. Most of the people that I've talked to who flew the hull A, whether they owned it or not, say, "Wow, it's a nice ship." I hadn't heard anybody be critical about it. So yeah, to your point, Fist, reading is fundamental. Understanding what these different ships are classified, not only how they fly, but what they're classified to do.
Now,
yeah, go ahead.
Very simple. Before I go, last comment. Within the description, within the name of the ship is simple right there. Haul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm hauling something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you expect it to be?
Well, I don't know what they were looking for. Yeah, I mean, to Kalrati's point, they had issues with the access. I haven't had issues with the access to getting in the ship. It's no different than the freelancer access. It's just the same double door thing. You get in. Maybe there was something to the fact that, which kind of was interesting to me, that they were worried about carrying a package on board the ship.
Okay, so if you're carrying a package on board a ship and you're trying to get up a ladder,
right? That's what.
Think about it in real life,
right? That's what I'm saying.
How do you do that?
Right?
How do you do that?
That was the arguing point. Yeah.
There is a process. You set the box down and pull out your tractor beam once you get into the ship.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that would be the way to think about doing it, right? I don't know, dude. I don't know what the person was thinking. I don't know what they were looking for from this ship. You know what I mean? I don't know what they were looking for, because they had no conversation about cargo. They don't talk about any of what the ship's supposed to do. They talk about what they couldn't do with the ship, and that's kind of weird.
It's kind of silly. It's like, unless you work for Cirque du Soleil, I'm trying to figure that out. Like that doesn't make any sense. But anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Well, thanks a lot, Fist, man. We appreciate you dropping in, brother. All right. We got Admiral Kusanagi up next. Admiral Kusanagi, how are you?
Admiral.
Hey, guys.
Good. Any thoughts about the whole A? More like trash? A?
Hey, guys. I just think that, it's kind of ridiculous that people think that this is supposed to do everything. It's not its purpose. It's even the box missions, like, oh, how do I get this box up into the ship? It's like, well, you don't. Like, it's not designed for those type of missions. Go find go rent an Aurora or an Avenger or something like that. I don't understand, like, the mentality of, like, with even the question of the conversation in regards to this person, because it's just not not what it's supposed to do. And regarding go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. Is this going to be an issue because maybe sometimes people, they see the shiny new thing, but they don't realize that there are some ships that are multi-purpose, and then there are some ships that are very specific, right, to what their purpose is. Is that a gamer issue, because we are used to wanting that Frankenstein ship that I can get this ship and I can do everything in it? But
in a way, because it's like, hey, this is a hull A. It's supposed to be doing cargo missions, cargo, type of work. But this is like, there are different types of work out there that, there are DHL trucks and there are, FedEx delivery planes, and this is your hull E, this is your D. Like the hull E is supposed, it literally says in the hull E description, it flies like you're driving a rock, so, or like a boulder or something like that. Which is why I actually have the B and the D, and I specifically didn't get the E because I just wanted to move a little bit quicker than like someone has to go out back and push it. So I just don't. That's kind of weird. I really have to think that this person is someone who was an early backer and probably got out of the game a little bit and hasn't really been working with the flight mechanics a little bit. I'm not sure. Maybe they were like waiting. They're like, oh, I can't wait till the hulls come out because it's like their dream type of thing. But and then they just got super disappointed because, again, they just want it to be something that it's not designed to be.
Good point.
I mean, it's a giant phallic symbol flying through atmosphere. It's not going to fly great with giant boxes all around it. It's like not aerodynamic at all.
Exactly.
So,
good point.
Come on, guys.
Good point. All right.
It makes me wonder if because he only referred to the Aurora and not the freelancer or anything that's closer to the maneuverability or what he would expect the maneuverability of a ship of that size to be like.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting set of words that he used.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Admiral Kusanagi, thank you for sharing.
Thanks,
that.
Admiral.
Let me say shout outs to some folks that are here. Demir, thank you for coming. Starlet, good to see Starlet out there. J2, our good buddy J2. ZC2, I mentioned you earlier, but thank you. The Rim, thank you for being here as well. Thank all of you guys for coming on Saturday. And again, let people know about our show. Some folks don't know about this show, don't know about the timeline. And if you got some folks you think would be interested, give a shout out for us. We'd really appreciate that. Let's go on to question number 2. I'm going to read that one for you. This is from Spectrum. And by the way, these come from the concern area when we pull these. The title of this one is, I want to hire an NPC crew, or at least computer blades, by Excalibur. It says, long ago, we were promised to being able to hire NPC crews to run things like turrets, or computer blades to run the same functions. Seems this has gone by the wayside. Many people bought certain ships on the promise of this, knowing the ships they bought would be gimped without manning a turret or other function. So people have many ships in their hangars. They don't fly because of it. Yes, we can now hear from the people we can now hear from the people who say, get someone to man it for you. 1, it's not always easy to get someone, or it takes a lot of time to do so. 2, there are many, and I mean many, lone wolves in this game who do not want to or have the time to group up. It would be nice to get an update on when we could expect to be able to hire NPCs or buy computer blades. So here we go. I still want to hire NPC crew, or at least computer blades.
Same.
All right.
Same.
All right. So Kalrati, give us some feedback on this one.
So he used something here. Seems this has gone by the wayside. And what I have to say is, I actually was looking back on when they actually announced NPC. For example, it had to do with NPC ship to surface landing or something like that, where we just got to learn that NPCs will be able to get out of ships after they landed on the surface. And this was in either between 2 point something and an early 3 point something card on the roadmap, right? This was way before we even got the updated roadmap. And look where we are at now. We are still getting it, but it takes time. It takes time for to properly apply all the things that they want to do to then allow us to get these things. So we can't really say, even though yes, he's probably really enthusiastic about getting something like this, and we all are, but it doesn't mean that it's gone by the wayside just because it's taking a long time, because we are still getting the ability to see NPCs get out of their ships after landing on planets, but as we see, it just took them time to properly implement the planets, and then implement the correct AI functionality, implement the spline landings, and then eventually allow us to get the NPCs to land. And it also applies to this too, right? So it just takes time, right?
Takes time.
That's
it's not that it's gone to the wayside, right? It's just
exactly,
a matter of time,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Real quick, again, guys, there's a link in below our picture there on the video. If you guys want to come in and have a comment or thought, please, we encourage that. This is your opportunity to come in, talk to us, let the community hear what you have to say on this subject. And I have to laugh at I think it was who was it? Was it Steve B? Rick B. Rick B said lone wolves don't need turret gunners. which is true. If you're a lone wolf, you don't need a turret gunner. You bad all by yourself. All right, let's Pops is back. Pops, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, Pops.
Hey, I just Thursday we had what Inside Star, and it just kind of reminds me of with the traversal of the vehicles. We haven't seen it. They didn't give us an update, but now they did in that sense. But they are always, just to let people know, they're always working on things in the background. And I'm absolutely, when you look at a lot of reports, most of it's on AI. So be patient.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's good stuff, Pops. Good stuff. Let me go back and toss in some things here that was interesting. And I wrestle with this one because I know, I try to equate like gaming, real life, right? Those two things, right? Is space someplace you go by yourself? Is a question. And I'm not trying to rock anybody's boat because I can understand as an individual player, you see something about gaming that you want to be able to experience, right?
Yeah.
But is space someplace you go by yourself? Now, I'm not talking about like on a mission. I'm talking about like, do you go by yourself? Every aspect of it.
Yeah.
There are people that help you get into space. There are people that establish it. If you're a station, whatever it is, you may go out and venture on your own, right? But my question becomes, how much of space do you do by yourself?
Right.
Of course, if you saw the movie The Martian, you do a lot of stuff by yourself.
Yeah.
And that's cool. But also when you expand that into a game that is designed to be basically an MMO, which is designed around two things. One, allowing a bunch of people to play, right, the experience, but also designed around a bunch of people playing together, which is another experience. I feel for the solo player who wants to go into an MMO and have access to what a game offers in a multiplayer experience, because they can't, right? But we could say the same thing about a person who's multiplayer, who approaches a single player game and says, ooh, I wish I could play this game with my friends, like Cyberpunk. I wish I could play socially. And because I am a social player, Cyberpunk doesn't interest me because I don't want to be in there by myself, right? So that the door can swing both ways, right? And so to your point, I think that the blades and NPC idea is still there. It hasn't come, but it also has not grown. It hasn't matured. AI is still in its infancy in many ways. Yeah, we could probably say, like we know right now, they have NPC fighters on NPC ships, right? But that's very static. That's somebody sitting in a seat who's been given the controls to be able to shoot, sometimes accurately, sometimes not so accurately. CIG wants to make sure that experience is proper for us. So until they get it there, it's just something we've got to wait on. And I know we've had the conversation, Kalrati, in the past about the person who wants to fly a javelin and have an 80 crew NPC blade thing. That's not gonna be a reality. There
will be some limits because I'm totally confident CIG is seeking always, as they develop the game, to find that balance, But there is still always, I think, is going to be some kind of limit to what a player can solo, even with AI blades and those things, to what a player can't. And it will be. Hopefully, players will understand that, because at the end of the day, it's still an MMO, and there will be some kind of balance to it. But I think part of the reason why it's also getting to some of us in the community is because we want things to happen faster than what than what the reality is, and that balance in terms of knowing what we can do with others and what we don't have to do with others. That kind of uncertainty, even at this point, is kind of getting to some of us, and it's leading to further impatience and that that kind of nervousness. So hopefully more persons continue to be patient as we see CIG unfold that segment in terms of interactivity with other players and AI, so that we can make the best decisions that we can for our games and our own enjoyment.
That's good. All right, let's bring FC down. Fast Card is here. Let's hear from him. How you doing, FC?
Fast Car.
Okay, did we lose him?
I think he's muted.
He's muted. Okay.
Yeah.
So he must have stepped away. All right, we'll bring him back. Let's bring Fist to Face.
He just muted.
Did he just mute? Did he unmute? All right, there he is. FC? Okay, he might be having audio issues.
Yeah.
All right, we'll put him back, and we'll bring Fist, and we'll check back with him in a minute. Fist, you there?
Yo, Fist.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Good.
All right. I have to chime in and say, and echo what you guys said, but you made a good point though. That when you look at a game for what the game is. You know, a lot of times we don't go into and see the game, you know, that you're going to have an interaction. And I get it, you know, a large portion of people who jump into games are going to be casuals. That's going to make up your biggest pool of people who, and within those casuals, you're going to have the ones that want to, you know, jump in, like you said, and don't really have time to, you know, set up and, gather up, 6 to, maybe even 2, because sometimes it's difficult because, I've jumped in games sometimes and even your own org, and, you're like, hey, anybody want to do this? And no response. You know what I mean? So you just don't have to do it. But it is kind of difficult. And I think CIG has to kind of try to take that in balance. Don't ignore it. But at the same time, too, on the other side is that be patient. That I think, it sounds like as if his question sounds like as if they eliminated, computer blades and NPCs. No, if you just looked at the last ISC, you're seeing, the progression of this, coming on board. So again, it kind of goes back to, knowing what you're getting into, research, reading and, staying informed. But at the same time, too, I understand, that hopefully CIG does take this into account for players like them, to make sure that their gaming experience is not hindered.
Good. That's good stuff. Good stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Fist. Thank you, man. Good stuff.
Thanks, man.
All right. Let's bring J2 in. J2 Smiling's here. VK, Viking.
Yo,
What's going on, J2?
Hello, hello.
How are you, man? Got some thoughts?
Yeah, I'm sorry. You caught me with a mouthful.
No worries, man.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, like I hear this from a lot of people. It's a common argument that you see pop up on Reddit and Spectrum and whatnot. People saying that, what am I supposed to do if I don't have the time to put into this and whatnot? And it's sort of the same thing with the NPCs and the NPC crew. It's, what am I supposed to do if I want an Idris, but I'm only one guy? Well, you buy a smaller ship. I mean, that's kind of the thing. No one is out there. No one's calling up, Penn, the fishing rod company, and asking them to make some sort of quantum freaking fishing rod so that I can go fishing on the 15 minutes that I have free on my way home from work. If my life doesn't allow me time to go fishing, then I don't go fishing.
Yeah.
It sucks. It's a shitty situation for anyone that's in it, but it's not CIG's problem.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, J2, because I know you've been in organizations and led stuff and everything else. I mean, is part of the issue here, and I want to be sensitive when I say this, because I know there are some people who have issue with social, interactions, right? They're awkward, or literally there's some issues that with being able to connect with people. And for most of us, it's very easy to just say, well, just join an org. The org, that's the purpose of an org, so that you don't have to,
Yeah, that's not necessarily an easy answer. Join an org.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Finding the right org of people that you get along with, that can be a chore.
Yeah. And that's my flip to that. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we do kind of chuck that out there, but the reality of it is you do have to find an org that you meld with well, an org that's active enough, right? Because you can join an org, but if the people only meet at a time that's not convenient for you, that's another issue. But then there is the reality of something you said, J2, which is sometimes there's some things you just can't do. Exactly. If I want to take my Orion out, you know what I mean, and I want to go out but if I can't find anybody who's willing to commit to say, hey, I'm willing to live on your Orion for a week, you know what I mean, or 3 days or whatever, it just means I can't take my Orion out. I got to take my Prospector out. You know what I mean? That's just the reality of the game. And CIG has even told us that AI blades and NPCs will not be as proficient as human players. So you have to even wonder.
Yeah, they've given us very little information on how well that's even less information on NPC crew.
Yes.
AI crew versus the blade. Like we've got at least a little bit of information about the blades. We know nothing about NPC crews and how that's all going to work. but yeah, you're right. It's a difficult situation for anyone to find themselves in, and I sympathize for anyone that does. If they're, when you want to do something and you don't have the time, or you want to do something and you don't have the tools,
Yeah.
either way, it's not fun.
Yeah.
But at the same time, CIG can't design for everyone. If you're in one of those situations, then it's likely you're something of an edge case.
Yeah.
We can't compensate for every single
Everybody.
edge case available.
Yeah.
And I hope, from the way Chris Roberts has spoken, from the things they've described, that the vision that I am picturing for the final state of Star Citizen is that there will be enough varied content to keep everyone pretty much happy.
Yeah.
But again, there's always going to be certain things that you're just
do.
not able to do either by yourself or within a set amount of time. And again, it sucks, but it's not CIG's issue to solve everyone's life problems.
Yeah. Otherwise, we'll be here even longer.
Exactly. If you're asking them to design a game to suit your particular lifestyle, well, then you're asking them to design another game. You're not talking about Star Citizen at that point.
That's a good point. Good point.
Yeah.
J2,
Very
thanks,
good.
man. It's good wisdom in
Thanks
there.
a lot, J2.
Thank you, man. All right, we got Big Black Gaming, and Fast Card says he's got his audio working. So let's bring BBG
Sweet.
in first, and then we'll hear from Fast Card. BBG, how are you?
Hey, BBG, what's up?
Greetings and salutations, gentlemen. How are you today?
Good.
That's good.
I saw this question, and it in a way it cuts directly to my heart, because one of the things I know I want in this game over the long term is the ability to interact with NPCs variety of ways, and have one of the things that I want to engage them on be this idea of, well, hey, join my crew, or to come across an NPC that's really expert at something and have a challenge in figuring out how to get them to join my crew and things like that. So this question isn't, unreasonable, but what's important about Star Citizen, and this is a great example of it, is lots of times the same types of folks, maybe not necessarily this particular poster, but lots of times the same types of folks who ask these types of questions or have these types of laments are also the same folks who act like they don't have time to look into what's been said, what's been shared, right?
Preach.
So you can go back a long way, but you can go back to, and I think it was Griff, your squadron, Test Squadron, not necessarily the best squadron, but it was Test Squadron that shared with me. It was Montoya who had posted about a Star Citizen birthday AMA like 2 years ago. And it took me to Spectrum. I was like, oh, what's this about? I didn't see it. I missed it. But it was a birthday AMA with Chris Roberts and Todd Pappy and Tony Z. And the first question that was asked was, how do you envision NPC crew gameplay? Right? So we can go back there, and Todd Pappy had a whole piece on it about what they first want to do is build out roles. Right? We have roles now, pilots, turret gunners. We need other roles, captain, engineer. And those functions will lend themselves to understanding what the AI function needs to be, right? But then you also had the whole quantum discourse across the last CitizenCon with Tony Z and his crew that laid out the framework that has to be behind this whole thing as well. So, one of the things I want to make sure that we get across here today is, you've got to, even if you don't have time right now, like a lot of people are like, I don't have time to play the game, I don't have time to do everything right now.
Right.
Well, this stuff is recorded. This stuff is archived. This stuff remains available, and it lets you know the long term, the mid and the long term plan of the leadership in terms of some of these things. So they want to build out these roles. And that's why you can't get mad. That's why I was upset that people were getting mad at the coffee vendor. Right? Why? Well, the coffee vendor is one small, maybe tangential, but important step in the direction of AI functionality that you want to see in the game.
That's right.
You want to hire NPC crew, but you're mad that they're testing stuff out for the coffee vendor. Right?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of folks just have to take the time to go through the wealth, and sometimes that's a problem too. There's an embarrassment of riches when it comes to the discourse that we've received about this game. And sometimes you got to take the time to go through it. I mean, take a Saturday, right, and go through the discourse and go, oh, okay, there's actually a lot here. And then the final thing I'll say is, even with all that, the answer may not be what you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
It may not be what you want right now, right? Like, I want NPC right now.
Yeah. All of us do. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
But I understand, given the answers that we've gotten and the discourse that's happened, how that has to happen in process.
Yeah.
So, those are the 3 points I wanted to make.
No, those are all great points.
Great points, man.
Great points. Thanks for dropping in and sharing that with us.
Thanks so much.
Now before I bring Fast Card in, some of you all remember a game that was called Chronicles of Illyria. This was a RPG, medieval kind of game that a lot of people jumped on back in 2014, 2015. And the game basically didn't go anywhere. They canceled it, right? A lot of people were throwing money at them. I think it got like $8 million. And the other day I decided to go back and just follow the history of why this game didn't go anywhere. And I listened to them when they were it was E3 or something. They did a panel discussion like about 3 years into the development, 4 years into the development. And the stuff that this guy was saying was so far-fetched, but it also was the stuff that any gamer would have been drooling to hear. For example, you could find someone in the game, have a kid, and your kid, when you died in the game, you would clone and come back as the kid.
Okay.
Sounds cool, right?
Yeah,
sounds cool.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that longevity, that continuity.
Yeah. So how do you create an aging process for your kid then, if that's the case, right?
Yeah.
And when you die, are you 6 years old? 8 years? You see what I'm saying? There's all this stuff. And I'm just saying to myself, that is the dumbest thing, there's no real reality of that. And he was saying the size of your family would be contingent upon the size of your house. So the bigger your house, the bigger your family. I'm like, it all sounded great.
Yeah.
But mind you, that game does not exist, okay?
Yeah.
People put 8 million because they were saying things that people thought
wanted to hear.
It was good. And to Big Black Gaming's point, there are sometimes CIG says something, but they're trying to keep it as real as possible. And if they start catering to us hearing what we want to hear, NPCs, like I remember, here's some things I can share with you guys real quick that I do know, and Kalrati back me up or tell me if I'm wrong. When it came down to NPCs, they talked about the fact that you would hire them, that they would be at different levels of ability and skill, that there could be the possibility of a self-learning process of them for them to get better over time. You would have to feed them. They would have to sleep. They could get fatigued. They can get aggravated with you. They can quit on you. That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of stuff. Now that's pushing it to me because, okay, I get the thing if you don't feed them and let them sleep. I know how they could build that in algorithmically.
Right.
But man, that's a lot of stuff. Now, I ain't seen no game doing all that stuff too much. In some games I've seen, like if you hit the person too much by accident, they get mad at you and leave, like in Skyrim. But in general, that's a lot of stuff to ask for. So I'd rather CIG keep it real and build it than for them to put all this stuff that sounds so great. AI Blades was the same thing. Blades, for those of you who've been at the Apple store, what's it called, Kalrati in Microtech down in the basement? I can't think of the name of that joint. Y'all know the name of the joint I'm talking about. They've got the computers down there, and they've got the things that give you the idea of what the blades are like, right? Now, to me, an AI blade is like when me and Kalrati go out, and Kalrati's been my gunner, and we go out, and the freaking crab monster gets them, and he eats them. Well, I ain't got no turret gunner now, but I do have this blade that I can stick in there to fill in for him because he's gone now. That's what the AI blade. Thank you, J2, factory line. Right. That's what that AI blade is for me. I don't see the AI blade as let me get in my retaliator and put 5 blades in all my guns so I can go out in my retaliator. I'm not seeing that, y'all.
I don't see it.
There are some people that want to do that though. So, it'll be interesting to see how this whole thing plays out. Let's get Fast Card in here, then we'll move on to the next thing here. FC.
Yo, man.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Yeah.
Good, good. Yeah, I want to back you up, Griffin. That all that was said, what you stated, but a lot of that stuff. One of my points is, and Big Black Gaming almost beat me to some point. One of the points is that a lot of the stuff that was said by NPC and Blade was like from 2015, 2016. So it's been a few years since we talked about it.
Yes.
To how like that's a Spaceman. That first article came out in 2013, and CIG did not update it until like recently, right? So I'm expecting it'll be similar for AI Blades and NPC Crew. The other thing that that Chris Roberts said specifically is that those game packages versus standalone ship.
Yes.
You said that a game package is that you can swap out like an NPC crew member and bring in one of your friends to help you crew your ship. And that was a while back. I want to say 2015, 2016.
Way back.
That is still the case. So I'm sure all this stuff will be updated, just like that's with Spaceman. It's just that CID has to be ready and ready to release all the information.
Yeah.
The second and last point that I want to make is that I'm going to have to channel Gomab a bit. And I don't mean any harm, and I don't know how long the player has been a backer, the person who posted this. But maybe SC, maybe Star Citizen isn't for this person. Maybe Squadron 42 will be more their style.
That's true. Yeah,
because it sounds like it sounds like this person is wanting a standalone game and not an MMO.
Yeah,
could be.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, Fast Cart, because again, we see the shiny thing that is Star Citizen, right? And we want that world, but that world is also being designed to be a world of social interaction, activity and everything else. And so, again, nothing wrong with being that lone person. I go out by myself and do things. I don't always feel like I go out and get groups of people to do stuff. I like the flexibility, but I also enjoy the game more when I am with people. I really do. I'm not going to even say they're equal. I enjoy it more when I'm with people.
Same.
But at the same time, but at the same time, it doesn't stop me. You know what I'm saying? If there's nobody around, I think J2 said that they are building a game that allows you to do other things, even if you can't do that multi-crew thing, in the game. Okay. All right, FC, thanks a lot, man.
That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
That was good stuff. Thank you, man.
So much, man.
Appreciate that. Okay, let's get into our third one. We've got one more subject now. This one comes from Reddit, and this one's from QS Iron, and the question is, where did it go off the rails? Okay, this person says they backed in March of 2013. That trailer sold it for me. 9 years later, ... My best estimation is that Planetary Tech killed the project with enormous feature creep. Now, the passionate devs who joined the project have all moved on in their careers. I don't see much future for it. How do you attract top talent with, here's a 9-year-old spaghetti and a deadline? Fix it. I am now curious how they will adjust to an inflationary, recessionary economy. There's a lot there, Kalrati. I don't know what part you want to try to address, but there's a lot.
So I do not, to this person's point, right? I do not doubt that when the devs heard, maybe the Planet Tech team also at the time, but when they saw and they realized, okay, Chris said, instead of releasing this as a post feature, which is what the original plan was, we got the tech, let's introduce it. I do not doubt that some of the devs were like, oh my God, the stuff that we'll have to do to fill out more of the space on this area is going to be massive. But at the same time, I kind of want to pick that line there where he said, what was it? Now, the passionate devs who joined the project have all moved on with their careers. The thing is, if you have something that challenges your ability to grow in knowledge and practice, why would you move away from it? Right? How true is that? Because if I realized, okay, there's another opportunity for me to grow my knowledge base where I can put all this stuff in my curriculum vitae or my resume, because I'm part of this team now, that's going to be pushing the envelope even greater to, accomplish this thing, why would I leave? Right? Maybe if I'm not part of a team that's not necessarily affected by it in a positive way, then sure. But I'm going to assume, just like this person is assuming, that, but in a different way, that this would have attracted more persons to challenge themselves so that they can grow in the industry. Imagine being able to do this. Imagine being able to, develop AI to seamlessly act this way, go from space to planet. You know how many companies would actually want to pull me in after accomplishing something like that, after being able to work with a team to to push through these challenges. You know how many people would actually be attracted by someone who's able or has that kind of knowledge to do that. The guy who who helped work with the I can't remember his name, but he's working at I think Bethesda now. He was on the stage in one of the Citizen Cons where we first saw Area 18, the procedural city version of it. And imagine after he discussed that, imagine how Bethesda felt when he applied. Maybe they called him. Maybe he was the one who applied again. So because of his knowledge, because they decided, okay, let's push the envelope some more because we got this opportunity to, that may have given him an opportunity, because his knowledge base grew, his expertise grew, to be able to have another, maybe applying to Bethesda or some other company was his dream job, right? Outside of CIG. So that's how I see it. Now, it may not have pushed persons away, at least maybe they have, but that's how I see it, is that persons would be attracted to growing their knowledge base and their skill more.
Yeah. I'm going to ask Joe Run, I was going to say something and then you typed it. I know you're cooking breakfast tacos and I know you're listening. So when you get a chance, please click the link and come in and share what you shared. So I won't say it because I was going to say the same thing. There's a lot in this particular one. First of all, saying that their best estimation is that planetary tech killed the project with an enormous feature creep. I don't know where that came from. Planetary tech was always in the game. That wasn't something that just came out of nowhere. For those of you who remember, when it came down to being able to go down to a planet, originally, you were going to have to fly to a location, request landing clearance, and then you would be brought down automatically by automation. In fact, we saw that at one of the games cons. It was with a constellation, and it came in and landed on the pad. That was your whole interaction for going to a planet. There was no flying around, flying over the city, crashing into a building. None of that stuff was in the plan. And by chance, CIG developed the tech, which they didn't even think they were going to be able to do, that would allow us to fly anywhere and come in from any angle and any approach at any speed and land. In fact, if you remember, Kalrati, not only was it going to be automated, what the biggest expansion they went behind it being automated was that you could manually fly in, but you had to do it within a certain window. And if you went too far to the left, you would get, you get fined or something crazy would happen, right? So even though you could kind of control it, it wasn't full control. So that was another aspect of development that nobody expected to happen. There are dynamics of what CIG, and mind you, they were keeping it real with us. They didn't say you'd be able to fly in any other way. They said, you got to go here, push a button, and it'll bring you in. Guess what? They've developed the tech and expanded beyond that. This comment about, the inflation thing is a whole nother thing. Because with inflation and recession, I'm not so sure. You're speaking from what's going on, not globally, but what's going on maybe in America. There's some places that aren't suffering from inflation right now as much as the United States is. So if you're talking about the U.S., that's one aspect. But you got to also think about, how did CIG do during a freaking pandemic? Okay, so what are the things that financially will affect them in development? Right now, it's not externals. It's really about how much we're contributing to the project. Let me bring Pops in, and then hopefully Joe Run will be back from his breakfast tacos. Pops, you there?
Yes.
Yo, man.
Yeah. Okay. Let me, if you can recap for a minute. Wasn't one of the questions on the devs that they have working on the game, or who would want to work for CIG?
Yeah. What he says was, he says, how would you attract top talent?
Right.
If they've got like this old stuff from 9 years ago and it has to be fixed.
I'm not sure where he's coming from with that point, because what they're building is a state-of-the-art game. They have built all their tools. If you watch Inside Star Citizen, if you listen to them, they tell you what was the one that was just recently. They would just went over all the tools that they're making and building from ground up. And one of the things that the poet said, it takes years to build software. It's something that you just don't sit at home, boom, 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 like you're on your Commodore 64 and make. And the thing about devs too, I'm going to say it real quick, that we went up our Citizen and Disco said they just don't grab any dev. They have to come in and demonstrate a particular skill that they can build. I believe he called a 1-to-1 scale, and some people that come in and apply, he said they don't get it. Because they can't do that. So they are looking for people with a particular skill base. So I'm not sure, what he meant by the other ends of the dev thing, but that's just my 2 cents, throwing it on the table.
Yeah. Okay. No, we appreciate that, Pops. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man.
Let me throw this in. Yeah, Kai, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that there isn't global inflation. I'm saying I think the U.S.'s inflation is the inflation that is much more higher than some other places. I do know that everybody's being affected and being impacted economically. But I'm not so sure that inflation is enough that it's going to, in other words, shut down the Germany studios, the UK studios, and everything else. Well, it's not going to shut down the US studios either. But I just haven't heard enough about the economy affecting the gaming industry. At least I haven't. Maybe you've got some insight, and if you do, dude, please feel free to drop in and tell us. I know Joe Run is out, and he may not be able to even get online live. But I don't want to hold this question up too long. But I do want to respond to this thing about the devs. CIG has many devs that have remained in place there since the beginning. There are some devs that leave, and we say devs, but I hate to say devs. I want to say staff, because their abilities are no longer required.
Yeah.
It could start out in the very beginning with something simple as concept artists and people who work at that level. And once those many artists, and many of you all know, many of the people that Chris Roberts brought on board were people who worked in the motion picture industry, worked on movies like Star Wars, Star Trek, and all this other stuff. Those people came in, did what they needed to do, and once they were done what they needed to do, it's time to move on to the next gig, as Kalrati said. They've done what they did their contribution to the development. There are some people who have been there since day one and are still there day one. They're still there functioning at that studio.
Paul Randall, server meshing guy.
Absolutely. They've been there from the very, very, very beginning. There are some people who we know, for example, who have moved on because their opportunity levels at the studio only went so far because of the people who stayed. They wanted to move up to a higher level producer position. They couldn't because this person says, I'm going to be here until I retire. And so they went and moved to go work at Sony or some other place because they were moving career-wise. It has nothing to do with whether the project is going bad or too great or whatever. It's just the way that industry moves and operates. Okay, so I want to kind of touch on that. Let's bring Kai in. He's dropping in here with us. Hey, Kai.
Yo, Kai.
Hello, hello.
How are you, buddy?
Fantastic. How are you doing, brother?
Good. Give us your thoughts, man.
So just because you had sort of called me in to say like, hey, what about this inflation stuff? So yeah, honestly, I think so Americans have a misperception about what's going on with inflation right now. There is a huge, I'm not going to get political at all, but there is a huge push by some politicians on one side of the aisle who are literally saying America's suffering from inflation because of our president. The fact of the matter is this could not be further from the truth. If you look, almost every market on the planet right now, with the exception of China, is dealing with massive inflation. The only reason China isn't is because they artificially control their markets and they're just setting themselves up for an even bigger problem in the future. If you look, the inflation in America right now is not great, but the inflation in Europe and Australia and through most of Asia is significantly worse.
Wow.
What happened was during COVID, there was a massive reduction in all of the requests for demand for products. And then after COVID, sort of the demand has gone back up. Production hasn't tooled up as much. There's lots of people that have, for whatever reason, there's these weird movements in different areas where people are opting out of the work market, or they're like moving into like, oh, I used to work for, you know, Kellogg's, or I used to work for McDonald's, or I used to work for, you know, whatever, and now I work in this like small internal whatever thing. And there's also weird supply side chain issues of moving large amounts of things from one part of the world to the other. And long story short, though, like that's a separate issue. With regard to the video game industry. And this is a huge point that I think it should be noted, and it isn't noted by enough people. During the beginning of COVID, all of the video game sector just took a massive leap. They were making money hand over fist. Everybody was home. Everybody was getting stimulus checks. Everybody was, you know, they had a couple bucks saved up, and they had a lot of time, and they were sort of, you know, like they were just buying and buying and buying. Frontier had record earnings, EA had big earnings, Bethesda, everybody had huge earnings. That has reversed. All of the video game companies, Bethesda, EA, Activision, Frontier, all of them have reported in the last fiscal years that they have taken a huge hit. And the thing that I think is notable or should be acknowledged by more people is, in the face of the entire video game industry having poor earnings this year, CIG is earning more than ever. So like,
now, can I stop you there? Can I stop you there? Because
sure.
that was, and maybe I poorly worded my argument. I was referring to the gaming industry because my concern about whether or not the gaming industry's numbers fell off, as you mentioned, has to do with the way the gaming industry has been performing. Not just because of inflation, because the companies that we're talking about, they screwed up a lot of stuff that they did over the last year. I'm more curious about whether they're reporting it as that. Maybe they are. Maybe it is inflation for them. But I'm more concerned about, if I look at who the people are who are complaining, it's the companies that have screwed up. Whereas, to your point, CIG, they went the other way. So I'm wondering, is it really inflation, or is this their statement that they're making about it? Because Activision, EA, all these jokers have not been producing. And I don't know, is that it, or is it inflation? I mean, is it?
I think it's a fair point. I think maybe it's a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. But but I think you're right in the sense of, there's an old saying, I forgot if it was P.T. Barnum or whatever. There was an old saying where it was like, if you have the right product, you're inflation proof. So there are certain things that when a recession hits, people go get, right. Oh, I'm going to give up this. I'm going to give up that. I'm going to give up this. Yeah. But like when recession hits, if you notice, nobody quits smoking. Right. Those people are slaves to their addiction. Yeah. They are 100% going to get that pack of Marlboros no matter what.
Right.
And so there are certain things when the market takes a downturn and people have to look and say, what am I going to get less of? That they cut out from their life. And I think that there are certain projects that people are so passionate about, and CIG is clearly one of them, that in the midst of, I honestly think that by the time this Invictus week is done, we're literally going to see CIG with Star Citizen break the 50 million mark. I think they're well on track. They're well on track to break. I think people are saying, could they break 100 million this year? I think they're going to break 125. Woo! But we'll see. We'll see. With that, I'm going to let you guys get out and get other people in here.
No, thanks for the info, man. We appreciate you, Kai. Gives good things to consider in relation to all of this topic.
Very.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, we have, we've hit our last question on this particular subject matter, right? Did CIG go off the rails? When did they go off the rails? Oh, I know what I was going to say, Kalrati. There was a video, and I referenced this video a couple of weeks ago. You guys check out the Info Runners. They did a great interview with Sandy Roberts, and in her part 2, the question came up about, as was mentioned in this post, about feature creep, and they asked, when we've heard about feature creep. when did feature creep finally stop? Because the assumption was, and most people have always said that, oh, something gets added to Star Citizen is feature creep, is feature creep. Sandy Roberts said that feature creep stopped in 2015. Now, that's what she says. You know, is she covering? But the reality of it is, if you look at what they've outlined and what was in the what was it called? The what's that thing called where they the different levels of
for the funding goals?
The funding goals.
Yeah.
She said that once they hit 65 million, that was when they were like, okay, we need to slow it down because we got to deliver this stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm just mentioning that, you know, because people still kind of toss this thing out about feature creep, and that's the reason why things are taking so long. And we keep hearing education about, no, it's not because of feature creep, it's because it takes a long time to build a game. That's basically what it is. So don't get me on my speech about No Man's Sky. By the way, Kai, great show last night. You guys check out Black Sky Legion. They did a great show last night talking about they cover these major games such as No Man's Sky, Starfield, Star Citizen. You guys check them out.
Check them out, man.
I really got to go on that harp about of No Man's Sky. Listen, no matter what anybody thinks, Hello Games has redeemed themselves.
Totally
Hello
agree.
Games started in 2010, y'all. 2010, they started putting their ideas together. 2013, they debuted at E3. Everybody's jaws hit the ground. 2016, after being supported by Sony, their game launches and it flops like crazy.
Sony.
2022, it has reached a beauty and amazement of gameplay that is amazing. How many years was that, Kalrati? 12 years? 12 years?
It's unbelievable, but very respected.
You get my point, right? I mean, they tried to pull it off in 6 and couldn't even get a good launch out.
Yeah,
It took them another 6 years to get it to a place where people are actually really enjoying and seeing the vision of what Hello Games wanted to produce. So I'm just going to leave that on the table for today, okay?
They present one point with regards to CIG, and just sometimes the amount of time it takes to just accomplish that one point, it's uncertain. And as a result, as they unfold it, there are some elements that they realize, okay, we got to put this in to make it feel more alive. And sometimes if we don't see a goal, or if we don't see the overall goal for adding that one feature, we may deem it as feature creep, but they may have an idea of where that element, comes into the whole picture.
Yeah.
It's got to go along.
Good point. All right, gang. Well, listen, we hope that we gave you guys some interesting things to talk about. We had some great people come in and talk with us today. Again, we try to find these things that, we're not trying to attack the people who write these things. We're just trying to bring some clarity. I think someone said this earlier. I think it was Jay too, or Kalrati, one of you said that there's a lot of information out there in relation to Star Citizen, but let's be honest, there's 10 years? No, 8 years of information, 10 years of information, right?
A lot.
There's a lot of info, and it'd be very easy to miss some of this information.
Yeah.
Some of us weren't around back when Reverse the Verse was on, or when Tim from the Chairman was on, or from when Bug Smashers was on. We can go down the list of all these shows. It would be so easy to say, well, it's out there, but man, to do the research. I will say this, it is worth Googling. Sometimes it's worth putting in Star Citizen Blades, Star Citizen NPCs, and see what comes up.
And just ask a question instead of making a statement.
Yeah. Ask folks. There are plenty of people in these games that can answer a lot of the questions that you have that have been around for a long time, or at least can point you in the right direction to how to find some of these answers. So that's it on that topic. Okay. We're going to go take a break, to take a commercial break. We're going to come back. When we come back, the Player Haters will be here. So hopefully you guys will be able to get a chance to talk with them. I'm sure they've got some questions that they are going to pull as well, that you guys can respond to. Don't forget, there is a link in the below our video there. You can click on that, come in and talk with them. Let's give you a warning. Don't forget, hey, the Player Haters are a little different than me and Kalrati. We're a little bit more, I don't know, what are we, more hospitable? They're a little different. The Player Haters, they hate everybody. They hate you if you like Star Citizen. They hate you if you hate Star Citizen. So we want you to just, keep that in mind if you decide that you want to come in and talk with them. But they're always excited to have people come in and talk with them. So we're going to break away for a second, do our commercial, and then we'll come back, and then you guys can join us. So we'll see you in a minute.
See you, people.
Soul Citizens, the network that has brought you compelling programs about citizens, backers, refunders, white knights, pirates, salty space dogs, whales, dolphins, Care Bears, griefers, and grifters. Now, the Soul Citizens Network gives you another side of the story as we go into the world of the haters. The Soul Citizens present the Playa Haters.
GrimHex, you there? Oh, GrimHex messing around. I don't know where GrimHex is at. What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? Player haters, players hate. If you're in for the hate, why don't y'all give us a shout out in there for the player haters today? Hate to everybody out there, all you players, all you haters. Yeah. I don't know where's this GrimHex cat? Is this what happens when you bring on new talent, y'all? They can't get themselves together. Told his brother 2 minutes and he taking 20 minutes. Oh boy, I hear him breathing. Yeah, y'all throw some hate up in that chat. Some hate. I know y'all hating today. Am I looking? Y'all check it out. Here's something for y'all to hate on. See that? Right there. That's some hate right there. Hate. All right. What you doing over there, man? I'm microphone. What you rubbing that up against your shoe? Oh, he ain't even up in here. All right, well, listen, we're going to get ready for this new player. Y'all going to have to welcome GrimHex Brethren. All right, that's how you pronounce it. Don't be saying no Brethren or Brethren. Brethren, all right?
I'll come in just now, man.
Oh, there he is, GrimHex Brethren. Are you ready, GrimHex? Are you ready for the reveal, man? What is he gonna leave me hang? See, that's why.
When we put it on start, it have to take time, but.
Oh man, are you ready? Come on, man. Everybody's sitting here waiting on you, man. Plastic, I got your plastic, DK. I got your plastic right here, brother. This is real, Jack. You know what, dude? This came from Walmart online. Well, okay, well, it might be plastic. GrimHex, you ready? Oh man, this cat. All right, listen.
I ready.
Oh, he says he's ready. Y'all ready? Y'all give him on the count of 3. We're gonna bring this GrimHex Brethren in here. Let's see if we can see what this brother looks like, because I don't know. Where's he at? Where's your camera at, brother? Look at the brother. Look at him. Look at the brother. Man. What's up, man?
I good.
You
How
good?
things?
What is that you got? Is that you got in your hat? Okay. Is that the hat? What is that? Oh,
it's
look at you. Oh, man, look at you.
I got it from a puppy down the road there.
Oh, look at this. Shooky. All right. I like that. Man, what's that kind of outfit?
AKA, it's called me Mr. PP or Mr. Pyro Player.
Oh, the Pyro Player. Oh, yeah. I like that name, man. A Pyro Player. Check him out. All right. Well, listen. We got some questions today, all right? And you know how it is. You know, we pull these from Reddit. And I don't have to tell you where on Reddit we pull it. What's all this gold, man? What's you trying to out-gold me, man?
As I'll goal everybody, man.
Oh, Lord, it's so fit gold. I mean, hey, man, listen, you're going to make this an adult show, man. You're going to change the rating, man. And touch the gold, man. Don't touch everything. Y'all don't pay no attention to this, brother.
Hey, the gold is scratched someplace. I just scratching it back.
Oh. All right. Okay. Well, listen, we're going to go ahead and get to our first question of the day. Let me hit you up with this one. All right. Now, this one, GrimHex, this one comes from an article that was written today. Okay, this week. And I have to put some. Well, let's go to this first one first. Okay. All right. Check this out. Did CIG downgrade graphics? The textures look so washed out and blurry, okay? Now, this is what they said. Check this out. Starting from roughly a year ago, all assets they added have been way lower in texture resolution than the already existing stuff. Pretty sure they reached some hard limit in how they're scaling down their quote unquote fidelity. It has always looked plastic on the simple, flat surfaces, like you just noticed now. They have always been washed out. Did you turn off the film grain effect they have in the game? It looks terrible. It makes the thing look even more washed out than it already is. All right, now, are you ready for this picture? Are you ready for this picture?
Give it to me, man.
All right, Grimhex, here's the picture. I want you to check this out. Let me get the right one. Hang on, that ain't it. Where's the picture at? There's the picture right there. Now, they say that is a washed out, the picture's no good, and that the game looks terrible. Can you enlighten our audience as to what picture that is? Can you maybe tell somebody what the deal is with that? I can't hear you. You done disappeared. Y'all, we done lost his mic. There he is. Now we can hear you, man. Yeah, man. We can hear you now. What's this? Give us some enlightenment to this.
Why this man or whoever the person is, go and wash out your own face or something down that people even see, eh? Listen. Whoever he think he is, if he could do better, he could come and apply to CIG, right? And do his own work. Because you see what he talking about there? I understand FOPs, right?
Yeah.
But let me tell you, no future, because at the end of this day, who knows, you probably even had no future yourself.
Y'all hear that cheap ring fall off his head? Y'all heard that, did y'all? Y'all heard that?
Gold, man. It's too much gold. Hey, all the ladies love the gold. Hey, well, when they see me, all the gold just fall off, boy. But let me tell you, no future 09.
All right. So what is that picture? Will you please enlighten people, tell them what that, because he thinks that's the game. He thinks that's the game.
That is a reclaimer, brethren. That's a reclaimer in the game.
And
we talking about
where is it?
That picture is fresh.
And where is it? Where is it? Is it in the hangar? Where is that picture at? Oh, we lost audio again. Man, this is what happens when you buy a cheap mic. You know what I'm saying?
All the gold is right here, right?
Oh.
Right. The mic I get from my cousin down the road there.
Oh.
But we are going to talk about that. Right?
Okay.
But you see that spaceship there, you see that lovely spaceship, that reclaimer there? It had no hanger, right? We're getting that in the game, right? You see that quality,
yes.
Right? That is Pyro player quality. That is Grimhex Brethren quality. So let me tell you something, no future 09. I like you. I feel I want you. We could do this the easy way, or we could do this the hard way, right? If you want to tell me where you really want to tell me, the choice is yours, brethren.
All right.
You have to see me in game to tell me that.
Let's go do this the easy way. This brother thinks, who wrote this post, that is the game. That is as Grimhex Brethren said, that is a reclaimer, that is a derelict, that is not working. And they don't even understand that that's not the game. So
they don't understand it.
No, man. And they're gonna try to sell that as the quality of what they call the fidelity of the game. I think it looks great personally. So I think the brother's all wrong. Let's see who we got. We got Pops in space. He might want to come in and give a comment or two on this.
Yeah, Pops. Let me hear
what's going on, Pops? What's happening?
Oh, okay, man. Y'all I got tears in my eyes, man.
What's up, man? What's up? What you crying about? You crying because you can't be a player? What's up?
Yeah, man.
No, man.
Man. All right. Y'all got a 30K me because I'm speechless.
All right, there you go, brother. There's your 30K right there, man. You want that 30K? You got it. Let's get some Pops.
Yeah.
All right, Pops. Thanks for stopping by and telling us nothing. We appreciate that. All right. Yeah, he came in here, just took up some space, man. Pops in space took up space, if you know what I'm saying, man.
You gonna be able to talk,
Ain't this a trip? Where's my man? Oh man, I had a sound for that brother, but I didn't put the sound thing on here. All right. So that's the first question. Let's go on and go to the next one, man, because people,
let me go.
Put these old funky questions on here, Jack. All right, so here's the second one. All right. Now this one came out of a magazine called. Do you read magazines, Grimhex?
I just let my girl read many magazines. I don't read, right?
I ain't talking about no girly magazines. Do you read with the pictures? I'm talking about, do you read magazines? Okay, you already answered that question. All right, never mind then. Exactly. All right, so check this out. This came from PC Gamer Magazine. Now, what happened was this dude named something Chalk wrote some article talking about how CIG working on bed sheets and whether or not they fold and they wasting time. They could have had the game out a long time ago, but instead they sitting here working on bed sheets and folding. So this is what the person wrote, all right? Once you experience true sheets physics, there's no going back to any other game. That was by Hypocritical website, okay? And this is what he said. It's called feature creep. There it goes again. It's called feature creep, and it's why we are almost 10 years with no release. It's why Squadron 42's Answer the Call in 2016 never happened. It's why Squadron 42's beta in 2020 never happened. It's why Pyro in 2020 never happened. It means that there's a massive problem with Chris Roberts' Squadron 42 when it'll be done, when it will be done, and it will not be released just to make a date. This is a serious issue because historically the man cannot meet deadlines. The only reason Freelancer got released is because Microsoft forced it to go out before Chris was done with his quote unquote vision. All right, what you gonna say, Grimhex? What's the deal with this Pyro player?
Man, the only reason he even here is because he hey, let me say what I want to say, because if I say that, we go get demonetized. But hey, listen, hypocritical website.
Hypocritical website. All right, so
like, I try to PG-13 every single thing that come into my mind to say to you, because boy, I don't know what you really want from anybody.
Well, I mean, I keep hearing this same stuff.
Exactly. You even can't even say anything. That's what we talking about.
Yeah, but he keeps saying the same old stuff, talking about these sheets and stuff, man. But I mean, come on, man. This dude who wrote this article gonna say that they wasted their time. Let me show you something, man. Let me show you. Look at this. This is cloth measure. I want to see that in the game. I want to see.
Show them the thing.
You know what I'm saying? I want to see when somebody flip the bed sheets back. You know what I'm saying? When I get on the Squadron 42, I want to see this.
I want to see my goal thing. When I do this, I want to see it in game flip up like this.
Listen, man, I don't think they want to know about your gold thing, man. I need to bring that up out here, man. We get demonetized talking about that.
It's selective attraction, boy.
All right, man. Hate. I got to hate on this brother. Hate on him.
Send all the hate, man. Send all the hate.
Well, listen, we got another brother up in here, Fist to Face. This guy, he been here before. We talked to him once before. He done dropped in now. All right, Fist, what's going on, man?
Hey, Fist,
with the Player Haters, what's happening?
How y'all doing? All right. Hey. All right, I got two things to say real quick.
Did you say A or hate? Which one? Because you're gonna get 30K if you say the wrong one.
Hate.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought. Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm right. Ain't no horses up in here talking about no A. What's up?
Okay, I'm sorry. My bad. Apologies. I agree. Chris Roberts should well, in my opinion, excuse me, I would say Chris Roberts should focus his attention solely on bed sheets. It's the best thing he should do in this game.
I agree. You
know what I mean? And I mean, because I mean, this is what everybody in this game has been paying their money for, is to go in a game and look at bed sheets. You have silk bed sheets, you got your cotton, Egyptian cotton bed sheets, you got all of that stuff. I mean, this is what we do. This is exactly what we come to game for.
Listen, man, for $450 million, I better get some folding sheets. I better get some folding sheets. I better get a pillowcase, and I might want to have a bidet.
Thank you.
Why not? Chris, man, you do your thing. And number two, before I get out of here, I don't know if I might get 30K for this, but I'm not gonna say that I said it, but I heard this. Somebody said that that Grimhex Bedrin's gold vest is as fade as that last picture. So I'm just saying that.
Oh man, he got the 30K on you.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I heard it.
Oh, who said that?
I don't know. I don't want to get in trouble.
Goodbye, Fistic Face. Oh man, I can't believe he dropped one on you. He dropped a bomb on that gold jacket you got on, Jack. Whatever the case may be.
Come, whoever say that, talk to me. Hey, join the Discord. Let me know. Wait.
I like that Fistic Face guy. He can come in here any old time.
Yeah. Anytime, man. Anytime. Drop in the news, man.
All right, man. Well, listen. That's all we got for this week is them bed sheets, as far as that part of the conversation go. Now, we are opening up the thing for Ask a Player. Y'all can come in here and ask us one question. If y'all got something, it could be about anything about Star Citizen, anything you want to ask us. Y'all heard him come up in here because I can't keep watching this dude rub himself like that. Y'all come on in here and ask us a question, distract him for a minute.
Hey, this gold is fine quality, right? And
Yeah,
as a result,
gold.
it is
Man, what kind of
places, so
gold?
I just scratching back.
Gold.
Right?
Where you get that from, man? That gold thing from? Did you order
You
that?
don't need to know about that because if I tell anybody, they go find out where my stash is, and I didn't find it. Yeah, I need to know about that.
All right. I don't know. We gonna bring one. Who should we bring in? Fist or Pops? We got both of them waiting. We only gonna bring one in. We'll bring well, Fist was here last, so we'll bring Pops in. We're gonna bring Pops in. All right, Pops, what's your question? You gonna ask the players?
Pops.
What you gonna ask us?
Speaker, you know, baby, speaker.
I want to know, what do y'all love and hate about the game?
Everything. All right. Next question. All right, we're gonna move on to Fist to Face. What's up, Fist?
Yeah. Fist. Give me something, D.
Give us something. Okay. All right. My question is, or better yet to say, a suggestion. Is that possible to do that in there?
You can say whatever you want to say.
Okay. So my thing is I would like to say, because as much as that rubbing motion that GrimHex is doing, he should do that to those salty players to get them excited about the game again.
Hey,
you know,
the things I rub, and I don't rub them salty players, but I ask somebody.
I'm just no. I mean, just not rubbing them, but the motion that you do. You know what I mean? Because it seems like it's igniting a lot of people. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's
to me.
It's igniting something, right? But it's igniting something over there with him. I don't know. All right, we got one more Ask a Player coming in. We got this dude called Merchant Man coming in. What's up, Merchant Man?
Merchant Man, what you seeing, buddy?
Hey, this is your main man, Merchant Man in here. What's up with you guys?
What's up?
What's up, man?
Ask a Player. What's up?
Well, it's twofold. Someone mentioned before that they believe that Star Citizen will bring in $125 million this year. And so I want to ask you two, how much you think Star Citizen will bring in that much? Do you think they'll bring in that much? And how can we get a piece of that? That's my second question.
That's a good question.
Whoever they bring in, they better give me half of it, because the kind of contribution I doing right now to direct everybody to play Star Citizen, they better. Hey, I just want 5%, right?
Yeah,
5%.
5%.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
get that 5%.
Personally, I say they need to give you some money, because you're gonna wear a hole in that gold cheap vest of yours in a couple seconds. All right, we got.
This is quality. This is quality gold. Right.
Wait a minute. What happened to Kai? Kai, you disappeared on me, man. Well, Kai, I guess Kai got scared. You know what? He got scared.
Kai, come to man.
Okay, he disappeared on us. I was trying to bring him up in here. Yeah, FC tried to sneak 2 questions in. He only get 1 question, so we had to bump him out of here. I didn't get to give him the 30K. All right, but listen, we're going to wrap it up. Oh, there he is. He's back. He's back. All right, last one for the day. What you got for us, Kai? Ask a player. What's up?
All right, I want to know from the players, what ship are they excited for? That's going to be. We got 3 unannounced or multiple unannounced new ships that are coming next week. What are you excited for? What do you want to see? Do you want to see maybe some kind of like a pimp 890 that bounces around with some hydraulics or something? Or what you looking for?
It's not a bad idea. I don't know if I want.
See me?
I don't know.
I want a pimp Aurora, because you see them kind of tight spaces there.
Now you want to play a Aurora, because pimps ain't it. Players are up, pimps are down. So you got to get a player Aurora.
I want a player Aurora, because if you want to roll into Pyro Day, that kind of player Aurora.
I want a player Mustang Beta.
What about a play Aurora?
A play Aurora.
Kai's my man. Hey,
play Aurora.
Hey, see, Kai,
you know what? For that bad joke, you get a 30K. All right, that's it. We're getting them out of here. That was. The Playora.
You hate him too much. Right here, man. Hey, I know they hate everything, eh? Look, I know they hate everything, but you see what Kai said there? He on my level, but he on my level. Hey, Kai.
Yeah, he on your level, all right. Yeah, the sub basement.
Anything.
Listen, we gonna get ready to sign on out of here from the Player Haters. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us today. Let's talk about what we got coming up next. For those of you who don't know, these guys are gonna be back. These Soul Citizens, they're gonna be back tomorrow. What's the name of that show there? Grim Hex is that guy with that sweater vest on. What's his name? Chris Roberts. That's the guy who posted.
Dear CIG.
Dear CIG.
Coming from the all-hating man himself, Chris Roberts.
Yes, Dear CIG. So the team's gonna be here every year. Once a year, we get together and we write down items that we want. If we were to write to CIG, write to Chris Roberts, these are the things we want to see in the game. And we got our special guest, Robert Hoggery's gonna be here. So you all make sure y'all join us tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Take a look.
Yeah, so you can hear, man, you gonna wear a hole in that vest, Jack.
Man, it's quality gold, by
quality, yeah, okay,
right.
Quality. And Jack is gonna jump off of you, slap you in a minute. We about to sign off on out of here. I'd like to thank my boy Grimhex Brethren, who is here today, the Pyro player who came to join us. We look forward to seeing y'all. Y'all make sure y'all like, y'all subscribe. We appreciate you being here with us today. Enjoy.
Right now, Gil.
Update. Look at this cat. This dude taking the freaking business calls during the show. Listen, y'all.
If you want to
get
them,
into
update
3.17. Check it out. Those of you who got those Scorpiuses, we need one. I know he need one because he ain't got no money. But we'll be seeing you guys real soon. Peace, love, soul. We out of here. Say goodbye, Grim Hex.
Peace, everybody. Hey, you all know where to find me, right? I go give you something. I will tell you where I sell this gold, right? Peace.
Peace out.